Welcome to Accountants Law Pod, where accounting professionals and law firms converge. Hosted by Linda Artisani, Sarah Prevost, and Stephen Libhart.
Welcome back to the podcast. And we have a very interesting topic this week. Well, actually, we were talking about who created this one. I know it wasn't me. It had to be Sarah. We kind of said it has to be Sarah because this one's very unique. And it's, I love how Tiara just told us to all get in the elevator together. So this week's podcast is, what is your elevator pitch? So Steve, what do you think? Give it to Sarah first so she can be on the spot for.
Let's do.
Okay. Sarah, you're up.
I'm on floor number 1. I'm kidding.
Ladies wear floor 1.
Well, I will say, I'll just start off with, there was a women business group or a business group. I can't remember the name of it. I was a part of that. I really, really enjoyed. And the main presenter of that group, she became the leader of the group. She really talked about your elevator speech. And she always would say, you gotta touch it. You gotta practice it. And so we'd have like 30 seconds or less. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I want to say? And at one point she leaned over and said to me, she gave us the form and the art of it. We had to practice, right? And at one point she said, you can always add, something a little different. Because how boring is it? Like, what do you do for a living? I never liked asking.
Yeah. So what women's group was this?
This was a long time ago here in Portland.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's strictly women. For some reason, I kind of think it was just because a lot of women showed up to it. Maybe I have it wrong in my brain, but.
So inquiring minds want to know, what is your elevator speech?
Heck, if I got one, I'll have to throw one together. I'm terrible at it. I'll be honest. It's something you're supposed to have, but I'm terrible at it. So Linda, I think you do it really well.
I don't do it in 30 seconds or less. If someone asks me, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
You can go into, well, I run this and I run that. So just say, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have multiple businesses that I run.
Mm-hmm.
And primarily my main focus is we have a couple of accounting firms that work directly with attorneys and law firms. So we specialize in that niche of helping them grow and become more profitable.
That is beautiful. I love that. Sometimes when people ask me, what do I do for a living? I said, I'm in accounting. I just don't even answer the rest of it because I want you to ask me questions.
Which begs the question, if you say, I'm a bookkeeper, this is the thing, right? I'm a bookkeeper kind of sounds like less, even though it's not, that whole, whether you should say bookkeeper or accountant.
Well, actually, what did we learn at Scaling New Heights? It's not even the word bookkeeper, because that's not what we do per se,
no,
right?
It isn't.
In all fairness, we don't do just bookkeeping. What is that?
Well, what's the visual you get when you think of a bookkeeper, right? That's
a little green hat sitting in a corner.
Pocket saver.
Tape on their glasses.
The pocket saver with pens and pencils in it.
Well, let me do this. How many times can I do that?
Head down with the calculator with a big long tape.
Which actually does go down a big long tape. So I fit the mold right now. Let's all.
Oh, she's going to show us her tape.
I'm so proud of you.
Sarah, you win. You win the tape contest.
We have to do the Sarah thing.
Yeah, I have to do the Sarah thing. So Steve, what's your elevator pitch?
Well, so I learned this when I worked for Westin Hotels for many, many years. They pushed this on us. We had to have an elevator pitch ready at any given moment. But also teaching the classes at the Bar Association, I like to have a really quick elevator speech. So mine is, I'm the owner of a professional legal accounting firm providing efficient and effective insights into each of our legal clients' financial health. Our unwavering commitment to professionalism, confidentiality, and attention to detail sets us apart and attracts the same types of businesses to our collaborative environment.
Do you have that memorized?
Pretty much.
Cool.
You didn't do Chat GPT on that one?
I did actually have it massaged the other day.
You did?
I did.
Because you can make it shorter. Wow.
Yeah, I went in and I put all the keywords and had Chat GPT help me out with that. And so I'm going to test this out in my next class at the Bar Association because attorneys really like to hear that you're going to give them insights into their financial health, that you're professional, that you're committed, that you're confidential, you have an attention to detail, that you are set apart from just what you two were talking about, bookkeepers, and that you want to be collaborative with them. So those were all the things that I put in. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I I love it. So I'm just curious on the prompts, because we can right now. I mean, this is where we are in this modern day.
It's a great use case.
It's a great use case for it. So what kind of prompts did you do? So what did you say? Take this. Did you take the whole text and say, please slim it down in a more blah, blah, blah? Or what?
I said, would you please write me an elevator speech using these words? And I put legal in there.
So you gave it some.
I gave it some words and I said, put all this together for me.
And did that spit that out one shot, or do you keep saying, make it better, make it better? Okay.
Nope, it came out.
Because you can keep it going, right? Chat, you can go,
it was really close to what I have anyway. But I wanted to.
Yeah, but you could tell it, like, make it so many characters or whatever, and it will shrink it down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it might be easier to memorize something smaller or shorter, right? It's funny when I think of elevator pitch. I think we were in. I'm going to say we're in QuickBooks Connect Canada, and we did Airbnb. So Jacob Schrader booked me, Matthew, and Jacob room. So we were in this building that had, 20 something floors. We were way up. It was gorgeous. And we would get in the elevator in the morning with all these people who live in the building, and it would be pitch quiet. Like nobody, you know how that when everybody's kind of looking at each other, but no one wants to say anything because you don't want to be the weird person. Of course, we had a weird person with us. So Matthew would go, hey, where are you going? He would just start the conversation. I always think of that when I think of an elevator pitch, because that's kind of what the thought is. But for us, it's really talking about when we go to meet people at conferences, or like we're all going to be going to CleoCon, right? So now we have to have, because we're going to be we're not the attorney at CleoCon. We are the accounting firm going to CleoCon. So we're probably going to, Sarah and I probably get asked, well, where's your law firm? I don't know if that happened to you last year, Sarah, because I didn't go last year, but did that happen where they like, what do you do? Or
they asked what we did. And I've learned early on in this, or later in life, but early in this career of owning a business, I'm better off using statements. So when I'm asked a question, I just kind of reply, because sometimes I want you to ask the next question, but I'm not like, if you don't want to, it's okay. I'm okay with you not asking, right?
The whole thing with an elevator speech too is it's designed to open up conversation.
Yeah.
So you don't have that uneasy.
You might have to be the initiator of that, right? So it's easy with Sarah because she kind of sticks out. Everybody's drawn to her because she's this little ball of fire. And then people come to her, and it's easy to I just enjoy go. People. And then she'll say, oh, and this is Linda, my business partner. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the other one.
Yeah.
I'm not the cute little one.
But I enjoy talking with people. So if my words come, depends on reading the room. You got to read the room, right? So if you're standing up and introducing yourself, well, yeah, I'm going to add more context to it. And I'm probably going to think on the fly and have sweaty palms. Let's be honest. You can oh, wait.
You don't look it though. You don't look it. I mean, she'll talk to the people on the plane. She'll talk to the people in line at the plane. She'll talk to the people at the restaurant. She'll talk to the people in the line at the restaurant.
Well, shoot, I'm standing in line and it's 4 a.m. and the thing's going so slow. I'm like, God, does everyone else want more coffee? Because I kind of need some. And then people just start talking, right?
That's the same thing that happened in the elevator, right? You got people to kind of like laugh and joke and then kind of start to talk to each other. And I like to think is if you lived in that room, like that condo, how many days have you gotten in this elevator at 7:00 in the morning where you're like not talking to anybody? And
what I would do is get on. Oh, hi, Joe. Yeah, that would be me. Like, oh, you're new. What floor? What? How long have you been in here? That would be me. That's my thing. But yeah. So my elevator speech would probably Linda, you crafted that so well, but it's in the sense of like, I'm founder, owner of multiple businesses that strategically align in the accounting field. And I have a wonderful family, and I don't know, something like that. Something like kind of throw it out there.
And I have a demented cat.
Yeah. I have a cat that's named after the Breaking Bad character who lives up to, but I would probably, depends, like Steve, you're doing it in a session, like you have to talk about who you are, like when you're doing your talks,
right.
That I sometimes am like, okay, you can read what's on the slide about me, but what's not on the slide about me. And then I can say that. That's another form to do that. Linda taught me that.
And you could also, I mean, one of the things, writing your about page, similar, right? You had to talk about yourself and nobody wants to do it. Hand that off to somebody else. I remember Sarah had done hers and I'm like, this is crap. She does a lot more than this. And I went back and redid it because I
slimmed it
she
way
didn't
down.
toot her own horn well enough, right?
Yeah.
And so you need to have that ability to toot your own horn. And if it's hard for you, let somebody else help you write it. That could get you started writing your elevator pitch, because you can practice at home, practice on other people, because you want to know how it's received. Practice on a stranger, I guess. I don't know, but it's something.
Well, you know what's fun? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Is say your elevator speech to someone and then ask them, what did you learn about me?
True.
Oh,
right?
I love that. That was another thing that she said,
That
to do that in the grocery store.
Yeah. And
That's what
dialogue
she
happen.
told me. I love that, Steve.
Everyone
But
wants
they
to
take
be
their
heard.
cart and go to another aisle. You know that it probably wasn't a good elevator.
Yeah, you should just probably put a bag on your head and slink out of the store.
But you're making me want to, Steve and Linda, you guys have crafted yours really well. You're making me want to kind of craft one that leaves an open-endedness, but I'm going to practice. Like, I've got a full mirror like I can practice on.
You should have the word passion in yours.
Yeah, I should.
Fireball.
Fireball. Seriously.
You mean I'm a tornado? And my husband called me something else the other day and I started laughing. I'm like, how many of these things are action items are you going to say? Because I know I'm a tornado. That I know. But I love this. I guess this is what the session or the podcast is about, is just how do you develop? And then it changes too, to be fair. Yes. It's like our business plans. It's like everything else.
True, right? Shouldn't we be mentioning the Accountants Law Pod podcast? I'm a host on the Accountants Law Pod, right? I mean, that's part of our life now, and we should be mentioning it when we go out.
Absolutely.
Sarah will kill us if we don't bring it up. She's got it on her email and all that. I mean,
I guess we need to update our emails to eventually.
But it's letting people know, right? It's all about letting people know. But
how many little Airbuses do we have traveling behind us, Steve? Because that's what I'm thinking.
Exactly.
I see mountains. I see sunshine. It's good.
And you see my neighbor's truck.
Yes.
I love it.
But it's true, right? So writing you should think about it. You shouldn't just go on the fly, because it'll probably fall short. And really think about what you want to say and use chat. Yeah, use Chat GPT as a tool.
Love that he did that. There are more use cases of why to use it more and more the deeper we get into this. And Steve, I think it's amazing. You took something you've probably used for years.
Well, this is an example of where Chat GPT can help us
right now.
Yeah. But I still strongly believe, and I'm going down the rabbit hole here, it will never help us or replace us numbers wise with our legal clients. It just can't. How many times, Linda, in the past week have we heard you say it will not reconcile a trust account? No way it can. No way it can.
Can't figure it out if it's wrong or broken. I mean, maybe it can figure it out, but I don't know if it'll be able to figure out all the things. Maybe it'll be able to someday highlight where it's off and then we have to figure it out, but I just can't see it.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm just not seeing it through the proper lens of the future. I do see it. One of the things I do see that it's going to be built on, and really you're looking at that one tool that's free, or you pay $20 and you get the more advanced version, but I can see it really helping with administrative tasks right now, where it's going to be able to get smarter to be able to, because it's doing this, it's able to like spit those answers out. So eventually I could see it maybe being a tool, like saying to Sarah, like maybe it can ask for the bank statements and then keep bothering, which we already have that ability. We've had that for a while. I remember when Boomerang came out. Remember Boomerang on the email? You could add that to your email and I could have these set templates go out to remind them. But now they've got it should be in our tools. So it should be in Financial Sense. It should be in Notion, which it is. So it's in there and you might have to pay a little bit more for it, but it's going to be able to not only ask for the bank statement when it's time, that it's, I need it because for whatever reason we couldn't get, we've got a bank right now that we can't get anything out of, and the owner or the admin has to go grab that for us. And they have to wait till it's mailed in and they have to scan it because there's not even online for it. This is what this bank is. Well, we should be able to have that go out maybe around the 11th of the month. Do you have it?
I have a question.
And then have it follow up if they don't give it to us. Because that's the other piece, right? Great that it could send it out like Boomerang, but is it going to keep asking until it gets it?
Why the hell are we banking with this bank? Not us, but
I don't know. It's a local little bitty bank.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
it's a
keep
little
my
bitty
mouth
bank.
quiet.
It's our clients' bank.
Quiet. Yeah.
This
But-
is one reason why I put attention to detail in my elevator speech. You know, you've got a human set of eyes on your book, on your books. You know, we're going to collaborate with you. We're not going to give you just the quick answer you want to hear.
Yeah.
We didn't go out to some AI platform and make this happen for you. We didn't become your trusted advisor, through a computer program. It's all human touch.
I like that. Oh, I like
digits, Sarah. I mean, what we saw that's on the pipeline for that is amazing use of AI, use case for AI.
Yeah, and scaling, I guess
one blew me away.
We should say, if you're in a position where you haven't really maybe carved out your time to go to different style of conferences to test the waters, and maybe you have to refresh a few, maybe you don't go to the same ones all the time. But if you're not doing that on a fairly regular basis, it is hard to retain what's cutting edge or what's up and coming, and it feels very overwhelming. So I would say, like, it's a reminder to do that, right? As much as it is, like, I guess, our elevator speech. And admittedly, I need to work on mine. So
I think we could all say we could work on ours. And true, if you do go out to these things or functions or to the, you're speaking at the bar, Sarah, you're going to be speaking at pageant. And then you're going to be at bookkeeping buds. I mean, you want to have that because you're going to be in an audience full of people who's going to want to know who you are and what you're doing. There's going to be people there that don't know you. You want to have that shortened version of what you do so that you can intrigue them.
I mean, I can't just keep doing that. Just, hey, just look up there.
Well, it shows your confidence level in what you do.
Yeah. No, yeah.
When people hear that, they or feel that from you through what you're telling them about you, they're like, okay, this person is on it. They've got it. They're the pro.
Yeah.
Speaking of elevator pitches, have you ever heard one that you thought, oh, that was awful? Have you ever had somebody tell you what they do and you think, oh my God.
Okay. Well, we also learned about what you physically do. So there's the words and how you articulate, which our soon to be guest, Misty, can talk about how your delivery of things, right? That was also something we did talk about. Steve reminded me of the one, try it on different people. I love that because you just don't know what you're going to, but also, if you want to memorize it, that skill of memorization, but also it's like your physical. And where I've seen it not go well is when you're like, and so what I do. Yeah. And
that's shy kind of look.
I mean, or I'm just really, I don't even want to stand up to say what I do. You're
embarrassed about it,
or not even embarrassed. You're just so shy. You're so crippled. And I think if you're in the space of, if you are that business owner or you're in a space of being in a lead role, it's allowing yourself to be comfortable and getting educated on where you can be comfortable. If you are not that person, it's okay to raise your hand and say, hey, I don't feel like I could be that person. We've had that happen. We've called on a few people.
And bookkeepers are introverted by nature, right?
By nature, yeah.
Sarah, can you do your elevator pitch really poorly? Not to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Tell us what you do really poorly. Like, how can you explain your job?
So, what I do is I own a firm. I own a couple actually. And we mainly focus in accounting and there's payroll in there. And I have a few employees. So that's what I do for a living. Yeah. I landed it. Okay.
What do I do? I'm on Zoom all day.
Oh, you mean you're telling me about your actions of what you do, not what you, yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, nice to know you. I think I'm going to go collaborate with those amazing, sparkling people over there, which I like to joke around that, yes, I feel like my friends are all celebrities anyway. So that's,
Oh, I love it.
Steve, you want to give me your bad elevator pitch?
Well, I try to be patient and calm with attorneys and help them a lot. But they're all really different. And so it's hard to tell you what we do.
Oh, it's a little boring.
How's that?
You told me nothing other than you work with attorneys.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do.
No, when they ask you.
You deliver papers for them? Yeah.
look them in the eye, shake their hand, say, thanks for asking. This is who I am. This is what I do. And try to have it in there. And boy, oh boy.
Oh my God. I would crack up if you started telling me that. I probably would laugh.
And then that might actually open the door to give the real one, right? Because you're kind of making it funny.
Yeah. Well,
that's a good point.
You see these people, bless their hearts, these attorneys go through law school and they've got it in their mind that they're going to make $1 bajillion that first year, pay off their student loans, and the world
school tells them that.
Yeah, the school tells them that, but they don't teach them how to be.
Yeah.
They don't teach them the professional business skills that they need to run their business. They tell them they need to learn it, but they don't teach it.
You're touching on something I've recently listened to. I love Mel Robbins. She has her own podcast. I love listening to her. Being an attorney, and she talks about all these skill sets, like you're saying, Steve, but like how to make friends as an adult right now is something she's talking about right now. It's hard to do because we're introverted people, or how to do what you're saying. And it's fascinating to listen to. Obviously someone who's very well established, very much a celebrity in what she does. But I appreciate that there's this connection that we can listen to of a person who has done that. I think it was in New York that she served her time in the law space, now that she's not in it. But it's fascinating to me how incredibly hard it is, because it's in every aspect of our world. I mean, every business owner has some sort of thing that is a crippling moment.
Yeah. And that could be standing in an elevator trying to give you a pitch and you're like, oh God, I don't have the nerve to do it, or starting that conversation. I mean, just being actually in the elevator and starting a conversation with other people.
You crack me up, because I really think now why it's the elevator speech. Now you really get me thinking. You really hope to God it's 30 floors, because you just want to ride the elevator to get the time to say what the
that's the thing. That's why you want to keep it short. You want to be short and concise.
Oh, I love it.
When you're in the elevator, next time you're in an elevator, you're going to think about this, that you don't have a lot of time to tell everybody about yourself if you do open up that door, right?
I'm going to look at you in an elevator and say, hey, Linda, what do you do for a living? You've got 5 floors to get it to.
Exactly.
And Sarah, I want you to save the next time you buy a new refrigerator, save the box, make it into an elevator, stand in your yard and practice.
I will. Actually, we do need to buy a refrigerator.
Well, there you go.
We just bought a Euro dishwasher, or not dishwasher, laundry thing, because ours went out in our other place. And oh my God, I was like, I wonder what that box looked like. That was what I was thinking in my mind, because it's hard to break down.
Well, if we all have groups of people that are our friends and focus group people, if you will. Yeah. Ask them to tell you, what do they know about you?
Good idea.
What's funny? I was listening to this. I don't know if it's on Mel or somebody else. I thought this was interesting. If you don't, that's opening it up to what you just said. Ask them if they know what you do, right? Or if you tell them. What I was learning was, what if you just don't tell people and you do this thing? And I never thought it from this perspective. And then people come to you and say, how come you didn't tell me? Because they felt excluded. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know that was what that reverse piece of it would feel like, which is very fascinating to me to think that. I never would have thought that way, that they would have felt excluded.
Yeah. And my partner is doing a big food drive for an Airstream rally that we're hosting next month, or in September. And one of the contest things that he came up with is, Linda, tell me something about you that none of us ever would guess, ever would know.
Ooh,
that's turn that around the other way. What do you know about me, or what don't you know?
Oh, cool. That's a great one.
Because when you see how other people are looking at you, you learn a lot, and you learn a lot about yourself, and it helps you convey who you are and what you do.
Yeah,
I can remember that, like, with all the questions I had answered on Intuit. And I can remember thinking I was just a person answering questions on Intuit. And I can remember being told, do you understand like where you're at in this place? And of course, now my face is on the community page, at least it was, next to Hector Garcia. I was like, oh my gosh. But like I look at him that way, but I didn't look at myself as having that sort of status. And it took somebody else to tell me that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you know that? So, I mean, that's something that you don't realize that people might have a perception of you. Like Sarah and I go around the mighty legal ladies as we run around different conferences, and that's what we're kind of known by. Those are the legal ladies, but we've obviously done a good job letting people know what we do. And especially if you're someone, speaking of elevator pitches, if you're someone who's been a generalist, right? This is a pivoting thing I had to do. I took anybody's work on, whatever you have. What's your business? Oh, cool. I want to learn about it. And then I went from that to all I take attorneys. And at some points you don't just only shut that off. But when you get to the point you have enough clients, I only take attorneys and law firm, but I will help you find somebody else. But then you have to let people know that you're doing that as part of your elevator pitch, and let the world know that you're doing that so that they know to come to you. If they have that law firm client that they're like, oh, law firm, I don't do that work, but I know somebody who does. And that's
bingo.
Pitch,
right? You hit the nail on the head there. And so, we have a passion for what we do in working in the legal field and supporting all of our law firms. And we really get excited about it. But does the world feel our excitement? Do they know that we do this and how we do it? And
right. And that's one of the things too. Like I think about it, I'm like, why wouldn't they like this work? But then you know what? I don't want to do e-commerce. I don't want to do restaurants. I had one yesterday that the lady said, oh, you work with me, back in 2005, and I have this problem, and I'm working with this restaurant. I'm like, oh, let me put you in touch with Chris Maxey from PriceFix, because he's the master at that. If you want somebody that does this work, but know that you're going to pay for that. You have to pay for that expertise. It's worth every penny that you're paying for somebody that knows. Like Sarah and I know we eat, you and you too, Steve, we eat and breathe this. We've done this for so long that we know it, and we love it. I mean, it excites us. You want that in a person that you're hiring. And that's really why you want that elevator pitch to let people know that's what you do.
The elevator pitch, you're just reminding me, because it's different. We actually are doing it in our own profession with colleagues. It's different than when you have a room full of a whole bunch of different business type people, right? Whereas, like you said, we've gotten ourselves identified, which is such a reward to be identified as.
I remember when it first started to happen, it was kind of like, put us together, because for a while there, they didn't. They looked at us separately, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, Linda and Sarah, and I was like, putting us together, Sarah.
But then we're on with a client. It's reminding me now. We're on with a client the other day, and he's like, I haven't even heard about you. You've asked me about me. I haven't even had the chance to ask you what you do. And I'm like, in a way, we're giving you an elevator pitch without saying too much,
without the formality of it, right?
Yeah, so I guess we could look back at some of those recordings and take on some of that little bits there and craft one. Like Steve is so well. I mean, you've just done so well with ChatGPT. I'd be curious.
He gets the gold star.
Yeah.
Just for today.
Just for today now. I love it. But that's pretty cool. I mean, I was like,
that's true though. It's another way of looking at elevator pitch, because we were actually in that meeting, and it was, he wanted to learn about us. Maybe he hadn't taken the time to find out about us, because it was kind of funny. He came to me via referral and to Sarah via referral. And then Tiara said, we want an appointment with Linda and Sarah, and he didn't know we were together. So he came separate people referred us. Yeah. And he's like, oh, okay. I'll meet with them.
Yeah.
You've combined forces. So it's right. You do that with potential clients, that elevator pitch, because they don't want to hear you go on and on about yourself, nor should you talk about yourself in a potential client meeting, but give them that little short speech on what you do and how you do it. And then really use those keywords like Steve put in his, where you're talking about working for the legal industry, that you specialize in working for the legal industry. That's important.
Then take all of this a step deeper. Okay. And all of the people that we work with on our teams, ask them to write an elevator pitch about themselves and about the company. What does this company do?
You got my mind going.
Now I know what's happening Monday team meeting.
I love
You're going to get 100 different versions.
But that's good, because then we'll get to see it because maybe it's not perceived properly, and we can maybe help them through understanding.
Yeah. And you're going to find out where they need help.
Yeah. I love that, Steve.
I think it's amazing what we do. So Tiara's like, I've already done this assignment.
I
love it.
She's putting it on our agenda as we speak. This is why we love her, because she's probably putting it on our agenda for Monday's meeting with our staff.
Yeah, we love with our team is definitely it's so much fun having conversation about, like, this is kind of like not a topic that you really want to pick up and talk about, but just having a nice conversation about it with multiple layers to how you could go about this. Any one of us could do it differently and still come out. I mean, you made an effort, A for effort, right?
That and practice, and then do what Steve just said. Maybe ask your staff. If you have staff, ask them.
Yeah.
And if you don't have staff, ask your spouse or significant other. Can you, what do you think I do?
Linda, what do you think? That's going to be like, I see my spouse going, is this a trick question? It's like, do you look bad in this dress? I don't want to answer.
Yeah,
no, that's when they learn at a very young age. Do not ever answer that. Like, defer the conversation.
Yeah, because our spouses and significant others will say, you're stressed out all the time and you work too much. That's what we do.
And you're on Zoom all the time.
And all you do is come in here and grouse about.
Yeah, and then all you do is yell at me, where's dinner? So,
mine says to me sometimes, he listens, and then I'll come up for dinner and he'll say, how'd your day go? And I say, oh, pretty good. And he'll say, I don't know what was going on in there, but I heard like voices elevating and this and that. And I really don't know what you and Sarah do. Was it okay? And I'm like, it was fine. Stop listening.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
This is a good topic, Sarah. You know, we could talk about the trash can and we probably come up with a good podcast on it. I don't know. It's getting
the crows that you can hear like squawking out there.
That's your cat. I know, because Walter usually comes in and says, okay, take it away. And he's not here today, but Meep is here. Yeah. So he's kind of.
Okay. I can take it away for us if we'd like. Well, thank you for a very fun.
Great discussion, ladies.
Awesome, for sure. So if you've enjoyed this today, which we hope that you always do, you are welcome to subscribe to this podcast on our YouTube channel. We would also love to, if you would, rate this podcast and share it with your friends. If you have questions, topic requests, please send us some. We would love to talk about what the listeners want to listen to. Guest suggestions, please email us at info@accountantslawpod.com or send us a message through the website, accountantslawpod.com. If you'd like to join us in our mastermind group that we meet on Friday mornings, it's the Accountants Law Lab. And we have a very tailored niche discussion inside of that for the legal profession. Visit our website at Accountants Law Lab to sign up. And we'd love you to also follow us on our Instagram. And as of today that I know of, we've been in the works on is our TikTok.
I'm on TikTok.
Social media
TikTok. We're happy.
But we would love.
Made it to the big time.
Yeah, we made it. No, I'm kidding. Well, now we've got Threads, right? That's going to be a new.
Gosh.
Whoever signed up for that, I'm squirreling off into that world of topics.
Hey, Tiara, can you sign me up for that?
Yeah, I know. And then Steve, where in the world are you in this beautiful?
Oh my gosh. Thank you for asking. So today we are at the Vintage Airstream Club rally in Salida, Colorado. And there's about 45 vintage, and I'm talking clear back to, we have two or three 1948 Airstream We Win trailers here. And they are little bitty eggs, and they are so cool to see. And so we're with our tribe, because we started out in the Vintage Airstream Club and just love it. So
are you going to post pictures of these little?
You already did. It's on Instagram.
Oh, dang it. Okay. I got to go look for it. See, I'm just terrible at that, but I will pay attention.
You posted it, just so you know.
I did. Thank you, Tiara.
I think you were posting from the International Airstream Rally that we were at a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, I love Tiara.
We're going to have an open house here tomorrow for the community. And so I'll take lots of pictures then, because everybody will have their bling out, their doors open, all that sort of stuff.
Awesome. I love that. That is awesome. Yeah. Well, it's fun to travel with you on these adventures with this podcast. It's such an enjoyable treat for us to look forward to something fun and different. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Take care. Bye-bye.